Hello and welcome to Just One Question from Insights at the Edge. I'm Chris Rock.
And I'm Mallory Corbin. We're producers at the Sounds True podcast network. We work with Tami on Insights at the Edge to bring you transformational ideas from wisdom teachers around the world.
And every week on this show, we pull out some of the most inspiring, most transformational ideas from those hundreds of conversations, and we bring them to you in the form of one question and one answer.
Thus the name, Just One Question.
We hope you enjoy. Okay, Mallory, you're bringing this week's question. So what are we talking about?
Before we get into it, I wanted to ask you a question,
Okay.
Chris. I wanted to ask you just one question.
Okay.
So we're both from pretty outdoorsy states. I'm from Michigan and you're from Colorado. Do you consider yourself a very outdoorsy person?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Me too. I go hiking sometimes. But do you ever experience where you're so excited to go out into nature and you put your hiking boots on and then you're in it and you're like, wow, that's a lot of bugs, or wow, that's a lot of mud?
So, yeah, true. Or is that a bear? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. That is kind of what today's clip is sort of centered around. It's the strange paradox that humans have put themselves into where we're sort of part of nature and evolved from nature, but we also have this kind of intrinsic fear of nature and discomfort in it.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Okay.
Yeah. So today we're featuring Craig Foster, who is the filmmaker and naturalist behind My Octopus Teacher. He's a very deep thinker about our relationship with the natural world and what it means to be human in a world where we're increasingly becoming separated from nature. In the conversation, Tami brings up that paradox, how she's so good at quietly sitting and meditating on nature, but then when she steps into actual nature, where there's wolves and cougars and sharks.
All together.
Yeah, all at once. Oh my.
Oh my.
She feels more disconnected in a way you'll hear, but Craig's answer basically gets at this idea that we as humans have two different parts of us. We have the tame and the wild parts.
Great. Here are Tami and Craig exploring the question, how can we as humans balance the paradox of our tame and wild sides?
Craig, this is a question I have to ask, which is when I hear you describe what inner capacities you developed by going into the sea forest day after day, I can melt into it. I can fall into it and open to it and feel it. And it's powerful. And my whole being kind of comes online. My heart swells. But then if I get up out of my chair, perhaps, and go outside into a wilderness environment where there are wolves, cougars, or if I were to go into the water where there are sharks, I'm really terrified and I feel very separate. And I don't have this sense of connectivity that I can access in my imagination when I'm actually in my individual body experience in these environments. I'm really afraid. And I think how these things coexist, it's very strange. And I'm sure you've encountered a lot of people who are in a situation similar to what I'm describing. And I wonder what you make of that.
Yeah, very interesting observation. So what's happening here, I think, Tami, is that all your wild memories, you've got in a way, 3 million years of memories of living wild, as in the Homo genus, 300,000 years of living wild as a Homo sapien. So your entire memory, your design is equipped to be quite comfortable in that completely wild situation. And that's actually what your whole being is craving. But now your physical body has not had that training because you're born into, a world post hunting and gathering in an industrial world. So your conscious mind and your body is not used to that. So that's why you've got those two big differences. And what I call this the sort of um, the tame part of your existence and the wild part. And a lot of what I'm writing about in the book is how do we get this balance between the tame and the wild? We obviously can't go back to being fully wild, but the tame is too dominant in my mind. So all you have to do is just slowly, gently teach yourself what you already know. And, I wouldn't go straight into, deep wilderness where there are a lot of big predators. Get to know areas that are, say, surrounding your house. Get to know the trees, get to know the smaller insects, mammals, birds, whatever you like. And then as you get to know them, as you get comfortable, you just go closer and closer to those more wild environments. Maybe at first go with someone who really knows what they're doing. And you would be amazed how quickly all those old memories and the old language starts to come back. And then you will quite soon, I'm talking quite soon, maybe months or more, feel very comfortable in a place where you'd now feel afraid. I think that you're only just terrified on the surface. So this is this idea I have of this. That's why I call the book The Amphibious Soul, that we have this incredible design. We are designed, every single one of us, to live in a wild environment as a nomadic Homo sapien hunter-gatherer. That's still our design. We haven't adapted to this strange environment that we now find ourselves in. So that it's a funny thing, you say terrified, but the wild being inside you is terrified living in this industrial military complex, or whatever you want to call it. And the tame part of your being, which is quite a small part, is terrified of living fully wild. So what I'm saying is, if you just start to find that balance, what happens is you feel just much more comfortable, because that wild being, which is making up a large part of your psyche, wants to feel like it belongs and wants to feel heard. So I feel it's very powerful for mental health and for well-being, is to start reconnecting, even if it's just with one animal in your backyard, and really getting to know that animal. That animal will teach you so much about yourself and the world, and you'll just feel far more comfortable. And all that feeling of fear will start dropping away.
This has been Just One Question. You can listen to the full episode on your preferred podcast platform or at soundstrue.com. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
The Sounds True Podcast Network.